Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening today. Today is the 12th of May, year of our Lord 2025. Welcome to yet another edition of The Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Hinkle, a.k.a. Motown Noah. Taping this on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day out there, everybody celebrating. Saying it, I guess maybe there's a funny way to start the shows. Should we invent a scenario where somebody who rejects Mother's Day? We don't really actually have to do that. Justin Bieber posted on Instagram today. I don't know. It was on his story or something. I don't know. But the Reddit pop girlies are going pretty nuts over this. Justin Bieber posted that Mother's Day sucks, but shout out to all the moms. Something to the effect of that, which I thought was not very nice, especially as somebody who... Fellas, you guys we can be honest about this. We've all sort of been mentally in this place with Biebs for, I want to say, close to 10 years. Man, as soon as Bieber was in his boyfriend era was when he there's this sort of, this turn started to happen where everybody was maybe Justin Bieber isn't that bad. And the fact that 2008, he does Baby with Ludacris, and every man in the world was like, fuck this kid, and we hope nothing but the worst for him. He was 10 years old. Just going on Ellen, just singing his little songs with his swoopy little hair. But I don't need to rewrite history and say that it, wasn't totally warranted. The kid was an asshole. But such is life when you're, a childhood star. But, eventually we kind of all got around on the Biebs, and now Justin Bieber rules. He's just a cool guy. He's awesome. There's really no reason to not like him these days. Maybe unless you're a mom. I don't know. Mother's Day sucks. Maybe if you're his wife. Maybe if you're Hailey Bieber, you're the mother of Justin Bieber's child. And you don't do a tribute post oh, thank you to my betrothed for mothering our child and for delivering them unto the world. Jack Blues Bieber, I believe is the child's name. Didn't do that. He was just Mother's Day sucks. And then Hailey Bieber posted her. Weird way to start the show. Is talking about Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber. My girlfriend and I got into a big fight about her the other day. I'm a big Hailey Bieber fan. It's not very pop girly, I guess, to like Hailey Bieber. I'm not really interested in going down the timeline because, I don't know that it's really good. I like Hailey Bieber. Let's just move on. Folks, we got a funny show for you guys today. Funny because I got an interesting little thing that I want to talk about up top here. It's rare that we have this sort of week-long event happen here at the Coping Hour because we have 2 episodes and one's at the beginning of the week and one is at the end of the week, but such is the case. This week here at the Coping Hour, folks, it is officially Surveillance Week. I've anointed this week #Surveillance Week. What does that mean? There's a lot of stuff happening around the city. Here in Chicago, a lot of things that I need to keep my ears and eyes on. And just to get the ball rolling on this, just so you know what I'm talking about. So just the other day, my girlfriend and I took our son and we went up to the north side of the city here in Chicago because a little birdie told us that Gordon Ramsay was in town. He was shooting an episode of either Kitchen Nightmares or his new show that he's coming out with, which seems formulaically the same as Kitchen Nightmares, but maybe it's a little bit different. It was unclear what he was shooting. We just knew it was a restaurant called Borelli's up on the north side in Ravenswood, and that was our old stomping grounds. That's where we lived before we moved to where we are right now. So we made a day out of it, and we went up to see the set of this Gordon Ramsay TV show. Maybe we can get eyes on Gordon, right? And so we do that. We spend an hour and a half in a block radius of this restaurant at a park with our kid trying to see what's going on. And what blew my mind was the production of whatever show it is that they're taping, if it's Kitchen Nightmares or otherwise. Wow, I didn't realize how many people were. Of course you expect a big crew, but I'm talking 50 to 75 people. Just coming in and out of this space. They were clearly doing the part, if it was Kitchen Nightmares, it appeared they were at the part of the episode where they were renovating the actual restaurant and sort of like yassifying it and turning it into a more modern thing. Because all you could smell when you walked by was paint and like sawdust and shit like that. So, okay, so they're redecorating in there. That's what they're doing right now. Gordon's probably not here. You could see Gordon's trailer. It was very obvious which one was his. I'll just cut to the chase. We never saw him. I mean, I would have started the show by saying, I met Gordon Ramsay. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. But the point of what I'm saying is we went and we wanted to see if we could see Gordon Ramsay, but instead we just got to see like how the sausage is made. And in a few months, we'll get to see this on TV and we'll get to say, hey, we were there. So that was the first part to Surveillance Week, right? You guys know this is like my thing. If you listen to the show and if you heard my dog barking, if you can hear him barking, he's a small little long-haired mini dachshund. He's not going to bite. Don't worry. He'll stop barking in a second. It appears that he already has. What else is going on in the city? Well, I love spying on people, right? I mean, the Special Olympics were in town last week. We live right across the street from a park, and the Special Olympics was going on all week. And I just constantly had my binoculars, and I was looking down at everybody because I couldn't really figure out what they were doing. I couldn't figure out it didn't seem like they were doing much. It seemed like you have hundreds of people right outside, basically in my backyard, blowing bubbles and throwing oversized balls at Velcro dartboards, and it just didn't really seem like a very productive usage of time. And so I was just spying on them to make sure that they weren't doing anything stupid or nefarious or anything that I would want to do. Then they're sucking all the fun out of it, and I would do it better than them. No, everybody was pretty much playing by the rules and doing what they were supposed to do here at the Special Olympics in Chicago last week. So that was a very soft kickoff to Surveillance Week. But what else is there? Well, I took my son on a walk the other day, and we live right by where the Chicago Sky play, right? And I've just never walked by the arena with him. And so I was like, let's go on a little bit longer of a walk, and let's walk by the arena. Well, right across the street from the arena is the Marriott here in Chicago, and wouldn't you know it, I'm walking to the arena thinking I'm going to bump into Haley Van Lith and Angel Reese. And I did have this mental exercise where if I ever bump into Haley Van Lith and Angel Reese at the same time, I will ask Haley Van Lith to take the picture of me, my son, and Angel Reese. I'll say to Angel, can your friend take the picture? And just totally big time Haley Van Lith and act like that. I don't know who she is. I'm very acutely aware of who she is. And that is precisely why I would be big timing her. That didn't happen. But what I did see at the Marriott right outside of the lobby where they valet your car at the front door, essentially, on all these pillars, they had massive NBA draft combine, like, God damn it. What's the word? Totally just derailed, but like posters that they were hanging up. Oh my God. That's right. That's about to happen. And it literally happens right here. The combine's going to happen this week. The draft lottery, which we will cover in today's show, technically before it's even happened, is going to be happening. Dog, I'm going to spend for real the entire week in front of this hotel with my kid. And I'm not going to bother anybody. I'm not going down there with cameras. I'm not going down there, with microphones. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm not going to promise that. But I'm not there to harass people. I'm there to people watch. I'm there to sit outside of the Marriott and be like, oh my God, that's Danny Ainge. Oh my God, that's Troy Weaver. Oh my God, was that Nico Harrison? I don't know. Maybe I'll get some eyes on some prospects. Maybe I see Ace Bailey. You know what I mean? Maybe I see, who's the kid from Baylor? Edgecombe. Maybe I see Edgecombe. Maybe I see the Flagster himself. Maybe I see big CF, big Cooper Flagg. It'll be hard to miss him, right? I don't know, dog, it's happening down the street. How am I not going to, you know what I mean? I got to be boots on the ground reporting live from the scene. And you guys, by the time Friday rolls around, will hear if anything interesting happened. If you're local in Chicago, I guess I shouldn't really broadcast where I'm going to be exactly when I'm going to be there. Hang out around the Marriott in South Loop. You might see me and my kid just kind of walking around. I'm going to loop. I'm going to circle like a damn vulture for at least an hour every single day this week just to see if I see anybody. Because I saw some people the other day and they were wearing like NBA gear. There's maybe some scouts or something like that. Some people just got not identifiable people, but they were wearing like team issued gear. You know what I mean? There's a difference between what the actual staff will wear versus what some Joe Schmo like you and I can get on, the NBA team shop or something like that. So it's Surveillance Week. make sure to keep your eyes and ears open wherever it is in the world that you listen. I'm going to be outside of the Marriott every single day this week with my kid. After he wakes up from his nap every day, we're going to go on a really long walk, and we're going to go see if we can see some NBA people. I don't know. There's literally nothing else going on. There's no reason to do this. And, by the way, I did catch wind of who the Pelicans representative is going to be at the draft lottery this year. Drum roll, please. It is Zion Williamson. Now, I don't think I'm going to see Zion. I'm not expecting that. But it is funny to know that when the lottery is happening, I can look down the street out of my window, and I can be like, Zion Williamson is right there. Probably the closest I will ever be to Zion Williamson. Unless, I guess, for some reason I see him playing an NBA game, which I don't think is going to happen. But, hey, you never say never. It is Surveillance Week here at the Coping Hour, ladies and gentlemen. And in spirit of that, why don't we do the NBA lottery thing? Because by the time that maybe most of you listen to this, the lottery will have happened. Some of you listening before the lottery happened. It happens on Monday. I'm taping this on Sunday night. And so, before you're like, oh, well, he doesn't know who won the lottery yet, so I don't want to listen to this. Well, hold on, because that's basically what this segment is going to be. It's like, narratively, what are we going to say about the draft lottery? Like, whoever wins the lottery, and you put that team right next to Cooper Flagg, what are we going to be saying about that marriage, right? Because if I wait until Friday, all of the takes are going to dry up, and I'm just not going to talk about it, because I'm not going to say something that literally everybody else has said. So instead, we're going to get ahead of it, and we're going to predict the stories. Because if you look around the NBA, all the teams that are in the lottery, I don't know if we want to go team by team and be like, is this the... Well, I guess what we could do is like maybe I clearly haven't thought about this at all until right now. If we look at the top of the lottery, Utah, New Orleans, and Philadelphia... I'm sorry. It's Utah, Washington, and Charlotte all have the three best odds, 14% to win the lottery, to win the honor of drafting Cooper Flagg. Well, let's do it that way. If we just chunk those three together, Utah, Washington, and Charlotte. Best case scenario, Washington, I think, is 1. Utah is probably 2, and Charlotte is 3. If Cooper Flagg goes to Charlotte, I don't think he's going to sign a second contract. I don't think he will. By that point, by the way, he'll be eligible for at least $250 million, if not more than that. I mean, who knows? 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Who knows? I just think that it's just a team that breeds. It's a breeding ground for losers, and the fish rots from the head. I think a couple of years ago, Michael Jordan sold his controlling stake or majority stake or whatever the case is. So I actually don't know what Jordan's input is like these days. Maybe one of you has a more new. I don't think we can blame him as much as we would have like 10 years ago. The way that we would have when it was like, really, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist? Really? Really big fan of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Oh, okay. Charlotte is one of the doomsday scenarios, I would say. Utah and Washington does feel like a coin flip in terms of the capture the Flagg Sweepstakes. Because with Utah, it's fun in the sense that Danny Ainge gets another like white guy. That's fun. Utah gets another white guy. From Duke, especially, they just got Filipowski, and I just don't think that, you know what I mean, the mojo's not really in the air. Danny Ainge is still kind of an asshole. When you think about like the team, like the personnel who's actually on the team, well, the Lauri Markkanen fit is weird because they sort of play the same position. You would also imagine, is this the summer that the Lauri Markkanen thing finally happens? Does he end up somewhere else again? We've sort of been flirting with the Lauri Markkanen sweepstakes for like, I swear to God, 1.5 years at this point. Utah, what was it, a year or two ago? The first 15 games of the season were amazing. They were like the best team in the league. They were like must-see television. Couldn't turn them off, and then I think they just traded guys, and they were like, we're a little bit too good, and we're not really supposed to be this good. I think it was immediately the season after they got rid of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Like their first season without both of them, I think, is when they just got off to a rocket start. It may have been the year after that. So okay, Danny Ainge, if Lauri's gone, it means that Danny Ainge successfully strong-armed somebody into giving him 6 players and 3 picks with 2 swaps. In which case Cooper Flagg would make complete sense, and I would have nothing to complain. I mean, I don't know. I wish they tried with the uniforms a little bit. I wish Utah tried with their branding, period. I wish a little bit, right? Washington, the argument for Washington getting Cooper Flagg, and I think what the story will be if Washington pulls this off, would be somebody has to make the Wizards sexy again. We've talked about that on this show before. The Wizards have never been attractive, ever. And before you... Oh, Nick, what about... You're just rewriting history. What about Bradley Beal and John Wall? Yeah, I would ask the same question as what about them, is what I would ask. I would not push back and be like, well, they weren't even good. No, they were very good. They didn't really make people want to like the Wizards, and they didn't really make free agents want to go play for the Wizards. You know, good players does not mean that they're a sexy team. I think Cooper Flagg would turn them into like a holy shit, keep an eye on them. And sneaky Bilal Coulibaly also. Yeah, Alex Sarr, blah, 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 blah. Maybe there's the take, is Washington can't get it because they just had the second pick. And there's no way that mojo is going to carry over. After that, New Orleans getting the... I don't know. I'm sure Gail Benson has some damn Bayou-style voodoo that she's bestowed upon Mark Tatum and the ping pong balls or envelopes, whatever it is that they do these days. Keep an eye on what's the lease looking like at their arena? Is it still the Smoothie King Center? I think they changed it. I'm going to, for all intents and purposes, I will be calling it Smoothie King Center. Keep an eye on that lease. What's that looking like? Do you think if I ask Siri will be able to give me the information of what I'm not going to try it. She's not going to know. If the lease is almost up, keep an eye on it. Because this is what happened the last time that the Pelicans won the lottery, was they were about to move straight up because they didn't have a place to play, and Anthony Davis had just gotten traded or was like about to get traded to the Lakers. It was just, we all knew it was an open secret. We knew it was going to happen. And Zion just falls into their lap after they win 35 games. Interesting. That was weird how that happened. Zion potentially on his way out? I don't know. David Griffin gone. Joe Dumars in. Troy Weaver in the front office in New Orleans. I don't know. I don't know if the voodoo is really there. Philadelphia. What's the case for Philly? If the 76ers 10.5% chance to get the first pick, 5th best odds. How sick and nasty does the media get immediately if Cooper Flagg goes to Philly? And I'm talking as it pertains to Joel Embiid. How sick, how disgusting, and how nasty do we get immediately? Because you're not going to trade Paul George. Mental exercise. Let's try to work this out. Who's harder to trade right now, Paul George or Joel Embiid? Paul George, I think. I think it's Paul George. Because at least when Embiid plays and he's not getting into altercations in the locker room with journalists, at least he is like, I don't know, one of the 10 best players in the world when he plays. And Paul George at this point in his career was so bad that he stopped podcasting so that he could focus on basketball. Don't know what his contract is looking like, but I'm sure it's like 40 plus million a year, at least. Maybe high 30s. It's probably not looking good. If this was 2K and you did Trade Finder for Paul George, I mean, you're getting 3-star value. Like, that's how teams would be looking at him. Whereas, like, Embiid is still at least 4. And that's even with him playing 40 games a season. Because at least for those 40 games, again, out of the 40 games that Joel Embiid plays, 28 of them, he will be a top 10 player in the NBA. So is it worth trading for a guy who for 28 games out of the season is a top 10 player in the world? Well, of course it comes down to how much you're giving up. Because an Embiid trade looks like what? The salary is going to be... It's mostly filler, probably. I'm not giving the Sixers... Let's use Golden State as an example. I'm not giving the Sixers Kuminga. I'm not. Well, that's a horrible example because the Warriors would probably give up Jonathan Kuminga. That is like the worst example I could have used. Let's pick the team who has a young guy who could get moved that the team absolutely fucking hates and make up a scenario where they wouldn't trade him because, no, of course they would move him. Would they move Pajemski? Yeah, I think they would, because at this point, it's just, if you're Golden State, I think I'm getting too in the weeds with shit that isn't even real and doesn't make any sense and isn't going to happen, and I don't know if it's worth digging into this deeper. But I just wonder if that's the direction it goes, if Cooper Flagg goes to... You might be thinking to yourself, why the fuck would they have to trade Joel Embiid if Cooper Flagg's on the team? They wouldn't. They would not have to do that. But I don't know. You clean slate the whole thing, is really what I'm getting at. Philadelphia gets Cooper Flagg. I don't know. Him and Maxey. You do the Cooper Flagg and Maxey show, and you send PG off to whoever can take him. I don't know. It's just not really Morey's style. I don't think Daryl Morey doesn't really give up on shit that he really commits to that quickly. The turnaround of it with Morey, it just doesn't really ever happen that way. And yeah, I don't know. Am I rooting for him to go to Philly? No, but I think it would definitely get people to lean into it would just happen too late. I was going to say it would lean into the whole like reverse likability piece of Cooper Flagg. But that was just a byproduct of him being at Duke, and we never really got to feel that because he just kind of ruled. I don't know. He didn't really do anything like that, like Duke-esque. You know what I mean? If he went to Philly, people would hate him just because he's in Philly. And it's not really the same thing. Brooklyn, 6th best odds, 9% chance at getting Cooper Flagg. I mean, it's okay. How does this work? I don't think you could do this. No, you can't. I was going to say, if you get the first pick and you're Brooklyn, are you like, Giannis? No. Ooh. Draft night. Let's invent a scenario. It's draft night. Brooklyn on the clock. First pick. Mark Tatum. No, it wouldn't be Mark Tatum. Adam Silver comes up to the podium. We have a trade. Shams hasn't even gotten it yet. It just happened. Giannis Antetokounmpo traded to the Brooklyn Nets for the first pick. Brooklyn would be selling, by the way, if they did that, I think. What I'm asking, is it bigger than the Luka trade? And the only reason I ask that, it's not. I don't need to explain why I'm asking that. It's not. Because the whole reason that the Luka thing was unfounded was because it was unfounded. It was not being communicated in any channels anywhere in the world. The Giannis thing is on people's radars. Even if it doesn't happen this summer, people are at least talking about it. The timing of it would be crazy, but it wouldn't be crazier than Luka. It wouldn't. Again, I also think that would be a hard sell job by Brooklyn to trade for a guy who's like 31. Doesn't matter. It's Giannis. But you know what I mean? Like, in that situation, I'd rather have Cooper Flagg. I'd rather have Cooper Flagg. And then I wait 3 weeks for the moratorium in free agency to close, and then I'm accounting for all of the assets that I still have, and then I'm figuring something out with Giannis. Put him at the 5, put Cooper Flagg at the 4, if that's what you want to do. Put Claxton at the 5, Giannis at the 4, and Cooper Flagg at the 3. Can you make that deal happen without giving up Claxton? Probably not. Probably not. You probably give up Cam Thomas at that point, honestly. If you're getting Giannis, I don't want Cam Thomas on my team. I don't. Guy's a hooper, which is good and it's bad. Has its flaws, has its perks. But if I'm on a team that's actually trying to do something and I have Giannis, I really have a need for Cam Thomas anymore, I reckon. Probably a piece of the salary that he makes would I would imagine be instrumental in the trade regardless. Brooklyn, yeah, I don't know. Could happen. Toronto, 7th best odds, 7.5%. No. The Pope is American. Cooper Flagg is not about to be Canadian. It can't be both. Cooper Flagg will stay in America. He was made in America. He will stay here. As a matter of fact, I beg and implore Donald Trump to place 15,000% tariffs on Cooper Flagg if, God forbid, he has to go to the Raptors. Fuck no. Not on my watch. Look, we have very playfully joked about Canada becoming a 51st state on this show. The Canadians do not think it is funny. I, at this point, kind of think it's old. It's not funny anymore. It was funny for like a week when I didn't really believe Trump, and now I still don't really believe him, but you also don't know what you believe with him and what you don't. I don't know. At this point, I think it's probably just safer to, whatever he says, there's probably a little bit to it, even if he doesn't follow through on it. Whatever. Like Alcatraz. How he's like, I want to reopen Alcatraz. I'm sure you do. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, if Cooper Flagg goes to the Raptors, never watching hoops again. It's never happening again. Because why have we just allowed... I don't know if this is worth getting fired up about. Let me just say it in a non-confrontational way. Masai Ujiri winning in 2019 apparently has given him a lifetime pass. Now, I don't know what exactly I don't know what I'm upset about with the Raptors. Maybe just that they've sucked for 6 years? Is it that I'm upset about? They just haven't been good? But there was a win. Don't lie. Do not lie to me. Don't do it. There was a time when Masai Ujiri was viewed as the guy who was 5 years ahead of everybody else. The general manager's general manager. You know what I mean? The way that we talk about Rob Pelinka after that Luka trade, motherfuckers were acting like he painted the Mona Lisa, that being Masai Ujiri, when he got Kawhi Leonard. Did he keep Kawhi Leonard? No. What did he do other than get Kawhi Leonard? He did the Marc Gasol trade. Wasn't that a deadline thing, I think, that year? That was he won a championship as the general manager for the Raptors. He put together like one of the best one-season teams that you can conceive of in NBA history. That happened. That was real. That did happen. Since then, though, yeah. Fred VanVleet went to Houston. Okay. You had Davion Mitchell for a little bit. Precious Achiuwa was there. I don't know. Scotty Barnes, really cool. I'm not really here to do a whole Masai Ujiri thing, but I just feel like for a guy who has been the GM of a team that hasn't been good for most of his tenure, won a championship, I don't know. Doug, there were rumors for like 3 years that he was in Giannis's ear and that there was like a relationship between him and Masai, which there may be. Isn't there video that's out there of, I think the Raptors, like, there's a YouTube video out there. I swear the title is something to the effect of like the Raptors desperately trying to trade up to draft Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that exists. And so it's not like unfounded to suggest that they have a relationship, because Masai was the one who was like, this is the guy. This is it. This is who we have to get. And they just got beat to the punch, and that's all that it was. And so that's just, I don't know, something that he's maybe kept in the back of his head. But every GM in the NBA has a player or two that they tried to make a mad dash for, and they just failed. I don't know. What is the tirade here about Masai Ujiri? I don't know. I think he just gets a pass. I hope Cooper Flagg doesn't go to the Raptors. Did that happen? I'm going to be so devastated. By the time you're listening to this and the lottery has happened, he didn't go to Toronto, did he? San Antonio at 8. I mean, we have our first, technically our second #rigged on the board. No. The first one, by the way, being New Orleans. New Orleans would be the first #rigged moment of the NBA lottery. No. Do you want to, maybe that's the way to, well, why don't we do that at the end? I was going to power rank all of if this team wins, it's rigged. We'll do that at the end. I don't really have that much to say. I mean, I don't know. The Spurs now have 2 straight Rookie of the Years between Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle. Greg Popovich no longer the coach, like medically retired. Okay. Really too bad he wasn't able to go out on his own terms. I don't know. You've won 2 Rookie of the Years in a row. Why not add a third? Why not just throw another log on the fire? If I'm San Antonio, do I go sick, nasty, fucking gross? And I say, you can have anybody on our team. If they don't get the first pick, whoever does San Antonio say, you can have anybody that isn't named Victor Wembanyama? You can have anything that you want. Give us the pick. Do you do that? I might do that. About you, Udovic, you make that deal? I'd make that deal, sir. I don't blame you. Damn good deal. I'd do it. I don't care. Charlotte, you want Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell? And I don't know. Jock Londales, is that still a guy that's in? I don't know. Take him. I don't care. I don't care. Take him. Take Jeremy Sohan. Take 6 picks. You just have to give me Cooper Flagg. And we'll figure everything else out. We're gravy over here. Their cap situation can't be that bad. I don't imagine there's ever been a point in the last 25 years where San Antonio's been in like cap hell. Maybe they had a luxury tax bill here or there. They've got to be like in the negative second apron. They're not paying anybody. De'Aaron Fox, actually. Forgot De'Aaron Fox. They are paying him. He's got to be making $35, $40 million a year. Who knows anymore? It's unknowable. Name an NBA player. Throw a dart at a board. Gun to your head, try to guess their salary. Most guys who are an A or a B on their team, you're going to be like, I don't know, $30 or $40 million, probably. A 3 or a 4, rather a C or a D on a team. I don't know, 20 to 30 million. I don't know. Not San Antonio. It can't be the Spurs. So the Rockets have Phoenix's pick. I'm sure there's a protection on it. I'm going to skip this one. Fuck both of those teams. I don't care. Portland. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something about Portland? I did 10 Tankathon NBA lottery spins earlier. I hate saying shit like this because it doesn't sound believable and it sounds like I'm saying something just for the shock value. I would never otherwise ask this. I need you to understand. I'm from the bottom of my heart on my son's life. I'm not fucking kidding. Okay. I did 10 spins. The reason I did 10 was because the first 9 that I did, Portland won the lottery. 9 in a row. Portland won the lottery. And shame on me for not screen recording it after they won 3 in a row. I swear to God, 9 in a row. So Portland, I don't know what that means. Except to suggest maybe that something's in the air. And that Portland's going to win the lottery. 9 times in a row, I got it. Everybody else in the order changed. But Portland was number 1 9 times in a row. Okay? Let's examine the angle. I don't know. Did DeAndre Ayton play defense this year? Him and Cooper Flagg? I don't know. But then it's also weird because Denny? What do you call Denny Avdia these days? Didn't he lose a little bit of weight? He was quicker this year. Denny Avdia was probably the quickest and the fastest that he's ever been this year. 2 different adjectives, by the way, quick and fast. He was both of those things at a higher level than what we've seen from him this year. What do you call him? A 4? A 3? Maybe that's Cooper Flagg. You know what I mean? I don't want them on the floor at the same time. What about him? What about Cooper Flagg and too many cameras? What about that guy? He got some votes for something. Would it have been Rookie of the Year? Would it have been Most Improved? I don't know what year Too Many Cameras is in. But like the flashy NBA media guys that everybody loves, like Zach Lowe likes Too Many Cameras. He really likes him. And so that's sort of my signal to be like, okay, keep an eye on this guy. Him and Cooper Flagg, not really the billboard that you want in Portland. You walk into the Moda Center and it's like, here are our marquee guys. It's Too Many Cameras and Cooper Flagg. I don't know. Nick, glaring omission of Scoot Henderson. Yeah, it was a good year for him. And I think people who bought stock in the anybody who bought a townhouse on Scoot Henderson Island, like 2 years ago, you considered adding a home theater this year. You considered adding an in-ground pool. He had a decent year this year. Scoot Henderson was that. But I don't know. Cooper Flagg in the uniforms in Portland, I like it. It's nice. But otherwise, I mean, who cares? I don't know. Can I be honest with you? I'm halfway through the damn show and I'm realizing that this isn't actually, I don't think this is going well because I thought this was going to be fine, like evergreen content, but if you're listening to this after the lottery happened, you're going to skip all of the other teams that I talked about because it won't matter. And so I'm really second and triple and quadruple guessing this entire format of this episode. But at this point, we're just going on the journey. Dallas, womp womp. Nope. No, I mean, I don't even, where do you even begin if Dallas wins the lottery? We're probably going to put them on the hashtag rigged pyramid, which we can do right now, actually, because Chicago is next. They have the 12th best odds at 1.7%. So here's what I want to say about the Bulls really quick as it pertains to the NBA lottery. We as a culture have focused a lot on this new Pope character, Pope Leo XIV. And how it relates to the New York Knicks potentially winning a championship because Pope Leo XIV, Villanova graduate, and so maybe a positive omen for the Knicks. We've sort of looked at culturally the Bears angle of this whole thing. Maybe the Bears are back. I don't know. The Cubs are having a good year. Maybe the Cubs are back. The White Sox are still in the mud and are the worst team literally ever. How about the Bulls? How about them? Do they get Cooper Flagg because the Pope is from Chicago? Oh, shit. I had not examined this angle. Dog, they mentioned it on the news today. Watching CBS News Chicago this morning. Watch it every single day. Audrina Sinclair, Dana Kozlov. I don't need to start listing the fucking anchors on the show. You guys aren't watching CBS News Chicago. You don't give a shit about that. But they said the Pope is from Chicago. Why not the Bulls? Why not the Bulls? Why not them? Because I'll throw up and get pissed off. That's why. I don't think that can happen. I don't think I would allow it. You talk about surveillance week. Jesus. Cooper Flagg is in Chicago. He lives in Chicago. I would be everywhere. Because I think I would know. I don't know where he would live. I don't know that. I don't know. I'd probably figure it out. Not the Bulls. Can't be them. Last two teams are Atlanta owning Sacramento's pick and the Spurs owning Atlanta's pick. Who gives a shit about either of those teams? We already did the Spurs thing, and I don't care what happens to Atlanta. They traded Trae Young's friends, and if I were him, I would want to leave, but I don't think he should. I think we, as a culture of sports fans, when like shit goes wrong for like 1 year, we always look at the superstar and we start doing the will he or won't he thing. Oh, he's got 1 foot out. Oh, he might be looking at other options. I just, for once, would like to be like, no, I actually think he should stick this out, like Dame style. I think Trae Young should just be in Atlanta. I just think that's where he should be. And I think that the trade deadline that they had was really unfortunate. And I don't know, does Dyson Daniels go up another level? It would be hard to imagine that he could. I mean, he was the best defender in basketball this year, despite the fact that he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he was the best defender in basketball. Jalen Johnson, he could go up another level. I don't know. That could happen. You add Cooper Flagg to the mix there. That's a team. And then suddenly it's like, oh, now we're not talking about Atlanta as like so what the fuck just happened? And like, we're not talking about Trae Young as like maybe he should skedaddle. No, they have Cooper Flagg. That'd be fun. But okay, if we did a dog, this is rigged for real. Power rankings of if this team wins the lottery, people are going to start asking questions. You got to put San Antonio number 1, I think. Now, the truth is no matter who wins, people are going to say it's rigged, right? That's just kind of how it goes. Especially when it comes to a player of this magnitude. Like, no matter who won the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, people were going to find a conspiracy. They were going to find a reason to be like, oh, they you know what I mean? Like, people have to rationalize to themselves somehow that their team didn't win. But it did stink that it was the Spurs. Like, essentially 20 years removed from the Spurs being the worst that they've literally ever been ever for just, like, one season. And then that was the season that they won the lottery and got Tim Duncan. And then they were good for 20 years. And then that one dip that they had after 20 years was when they got Victor Wembanyama. So yes, it would feel a little bad if they did it again. Number 2, do you think it's Dallas? I think it might be Dallas. You could make the argument that Dallas is number 1, by the way. But I just think the history of San Antonio getting the first pick on top of the whole back-to-back Rookie of the Year thing, I would just keep an eye on the Spurs. But yeah, Dallas, I mean, it would certainly quell all of the Las Vegas rumors. A rumor that I will continue to deflect and say is misinformed and I believe wrong, and if I can be crass, fucking stupid. They're not moving to Las Vegas. They're just not. I'm going to put Dallas at number 2. They just get rewarded with Cooper Flagg after the biggest hijinks of all time. The biggest, a general manager in the NBA gets hoodwinked. Or I guess that was sort of how it was billed at first. You guys want to, we've never actually opened up the Luka Doncic trade on this show. Do you want to spend the next 2 hours talking about it? I don't think I've ever talked about it here. Number 3 on the dog, this is rigged. Power rankings for Cooper Flagg. I don't know. I mean, Utah, I wouldn't say that's rigged. They don't good shit doesn't happen to Utah. Washington, good shit doesn't happen to Washington. Charlotte, good shit doesn't happen to Charlotte. Philly, it's like if Kermit was really thinking hard. I'm not sure, but if I don't want to do this. I don't think it's Philly. New Orleans, I'm just going to say them. I'm going to say them. Because there's always something up Gail Benson's sleeve. Ever since her husband died, she's gotten real weaselly. She's always got her hand in things. NFL draft was happening like 2 weeks ago, and you always see Gail Benson in the war room with the New Orleans Saints. Always looks like she's up to something. Always looks like she's scheming something. You can just never put your finger on it. You wonder if Mariah Mills was they did a plant. And they just used her to try to... Well, they've paid Zion. They've since given him a second contract, so this wouldn't... They did not try to... Did they try to honeypot Zion Williamson by forcing an IG model into his DMs? I don't think so, because they've since given him like $200 million. And the honeypot would have worked, by the way, because he had sex with her at least 24. We don't know official numbers yet. But I guess since he'll be in my area, no, I'm going to practice what I preach. And if I see anybody famous, I'm not going to say anything to them, because that's what you do when you see famous people, unless it's like a lifetime, like a childhood hero or some shit like that. Of course, there are exceptions. You can say things to famous people if you want. Just make sure you're not an asshole about it. But I will be, unless I see Danny Ainge. I don't know. What do I say to Danny Ainge? What's up? No, I'd probably just be like, hey, it's Danny Ainge. Whoa. And I'd say it to my son, and then just keep it moving. Maybe take a picture of him from... I wouldn't do that. No cameras. I said I wasn't going to bring any cameras. I wasn't going to bring any microphones. I spent 45 goddamn minutes talking about this. This was literally the whole show today, I guess. But we can wrap up with something different. That was the NBA lottery, folks. Who won? copinghoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. We do have 2 emails that have come in since I started taping. As we're taping this, the Pacers are up 80-39 at halftime over the Caps, rubbing my eyes like a hashtag goddamned Looney Tunes character. What is happening? It's so funny to me. Haliburton plays out of his mind for the first, 6-7 games of the playoffs. And then he has one game against the Cavs, game 3, where he scores 4 points, and the internet dogpiles the fuck out of him. Okay, that's fine. Because what is he up to in this game? When I checked it a minute ago at halftime, he's at like 15, 4, and 5. And dog, judging by the score, it seems like he doesn't even need to be fucking playing. I didn't watch this one to be transparent. Maybe he's been a necessity, and he's the only reason they're up by 50 damn points. But you talk about pyramids and like clutch performers in the playoffs this season. Why would Haliburton not be up there? I would put Donovan Mitchell up there. I'd put Brunson up there. You put, it's hard with the Knicks though when you talk about like who's been their most clutch player. It's kind of just been a by committee. It's been the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? I don't know. If it's not Karl Anthony Towns pulling up from the logo and ripping the net, he's not touching the rim. If it's not that, then it's Jalen Brunson getting hurt and then just kind of coming back and giving you 16 and a quarter. If it's not that, it's Mikal Bridges not really making threes in like an effective like dagger way, but this is where the first round picks, this is where they start paying off. You send 5 of them to New York, or rather to Brooklyn for this guy. Dog, you get into these crucial late game possessions, like less than a minute left. If the guy who Mikal Bridges is defending has the ball, it's going the other way. Whether it's a turnover or whether the shot is going to get bricked, you're not getting a shot off. You're not scoring on Mikal Bridges. He's been so locked down for the Knicks on defense in these late game situations. So who the fuck is it? I'm just going to say it's the Knicks. Just, again, by committee, period. Let's throw another one in there. Aaron Gordon. Because we got an email about this guy. And, well, why don't I just do it? This one comes into us from Roman. Roman, what's up? Feels weird. It's my son's name, so it's very jarring for me to be like, Roman, what's up? This is not my child emailing into the Roman. This Roman has Roman Squared has sent in some emails before. Subject line here is Aaron Gordon is Robert Horry with a 40-inch vertical. This is a very long email, so I'm gonna TLDR it, even though you kind of already did it at the top here. Hello, Nick. Longtime listener, infrequent emailer. The Denver Nuggets have changed my life. TLDR, I would marry either Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. Jokic is the best player in the world, and I believe the Nuggets are the comparison in the NBA to the Kansas City Chiefs. After a pretty frustrating regular season, I'm going to put it, they're not. They're not. Even if you try to explain it to me later in this email and I just didn't see it before I screened it, no, they're not. They're not. After a frustrating regular season where the Nuggets had a terrible defense, inconsistent play from our non-Jokic max contract players like Jamal and Michael Porter Jr., and randomly firing GOAT Michael Malone because he was having a dick measuring contest with Calvin Booth, I still felt confident that we'd beat the Clippers, which was a fun but stressful 7 games, but I thought OKC would be too much for this team. However, the nerd best net rating of all time team melts when they meet Aaron Gordon. Gordon, once known for a long time as the 2016 dunk contest guy for his freakish athleticism and dunking ability, has, in year 11, become a three-point sniper. 43% from 3 in the regular season, 60% from 3 against OKC specifically. Dude is crazy clutch. Breaking the email for 1 second. Roman here sent the email after Game 3. So as of this taping, Game 4 has happened. Oklahoma City won. Series is tied 2-2. When he sent this in, it was 2-1 Denver. Imagine Big Shot Bob after a decade of Olympic powerlifting and altitude-induced evolution, now built like a granite statue and hitting threes like he's been possessed by prime Klay Thompson. I'm so glad AG is getting the love he deserves for the Nuggets' sustained playoff success. Now, you throw in a lot more shit here. I'll do this. Aaron Gordon always hits a good shot in the fourth quarter, never afraid of the moment, and is also hot. In parentheses, he said, increasing the bisexual coping hour demographic, by the way. If you don't include me on the show, it's literally homophobic. People have sent me their penises before, brother. I don't read those on the show. I don't show those on the show. A lot of bisexual people listen to the show. Had a woman once, she said, as an AA woman, and then she gave her spiel about whatever she was responding to in a segment that we did. I remember being like, wow, that's the self-admittance there, like you sort of self-reporting, be like, I am in the program. And I was like, wow, I just have never seen somebody be like, I identify themselves as like an AA member like that. Then it took me about 15 minutes to realize she meant African American. So this is not actually in line with what you're talking about at all, because African American doesn't mean that you're gay. I don't really know why I made the connection that I did there, but... And the momentum of the email comes to a screeching halt. So why don't we just cut it there? Well, let's do it. You say it here. This leads to my ultimate point. As a long-suffering Broncos fan under the persecution of the Kansas City Chiefs dictatorship in our division, which is a team defined by devil magic football for years, just a team that finds insane, impossible ways to win big games over and over, usually in close games. Although the Nuggets have only won one championship, the vibe is identical. And to be clear, I'm watching all of this from behind enemy lines during the summer semester at Utah State. Shout out to Jordan Love, by the way. Back to the email. Surrounded by sad Jazz fans. I love flashing my ring finger at them like I'm wearing an imaginary championship ring. Fuck Karl Malone and John Stockton and OKC sympathizers. Their pain is my bliss. Why? Because the team everyone hates for being too good is finally my team. It's so much fucking fun. It's such a blessing to have attended a championship parade in my lifetime, have the best player in the world on my team at any point, and have kick-ass playoff runs every single year. I'm not sure if we beat Oklahoma City, and this is not an anti-OKC email. I think it is. And that's fine. Wear it. But maybe it's not. Hopefully we go up 3-1. That didn't happen. Let's see. What else? God damn, there's so much. You said you have so many takes here. You fired up about your team. You should be. They're not the Chiefs. They're not, because you have to win. I mean, you have to, and you're going to tell me, well, they haven't won because of this and because of that. Whatever you try to tell me, I'm going to tell you, if Patrick Mahomes can beat Joe Burrow, which I guess he didn't the one year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. It's a bad guy to start with. If Patrick Mahomes can beat Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen every single goddamn year, like, I don't want to hear the competition. It's not the same thing. It is the same thing in the sense that you have the best player in the world, or at least you could conceive them to be the best player in the world at any given moment, and you have a chance against anybody because of that. The Nuggets win games. They invent ways to win games. I'll medium agree on that one. I think the Aaron Gordon thing, the dunk, the buzzer-beating dunk is really what put it over the edge. And that is the focus of the email. That's the reason that I read the emails, because I wanted to talk about Aaron Gordon. And something that you mentioned in there about the way that he's being embraced and the way that people talk about him and that, his part in Denver's success, I 100% agree with you there. Because it is always cool to see. Look, I don't want to say that Aaron Gordon wouldn't be in the NBA if the Denver thing never happened. I don't believe that that's true. But he certainly would not be as beloved by any other organization in the entire NBA the way that he is by Nuggets fans. Because it's such a rare marriage that Aaron Gordon has with that team. And specifically with Nikola Jokic, because he is really the main instrument in the relationship between the two, and why Aaron Gordon is viewed as favorably and as effectively as he is for the Nuggets. Because when he first got there, you were kind of like, what the fuck did he even do in Orlando? To the emailer's point, to Roman's point, he dunked really cool. He jumped over Stuff the Magic Dragon in the dunk contest, and it was really cool. And he got robbed and blah, blah, blah. And Zach LaVine was just copying Aaron Gordon's dunks and without props and cool shit and hoverboards. And yeah, you wouldn't be wrong about any of that. Aaron Gordon was not, his three ball was not anything. It wasn't a thing. Maybe it was if you go back and look at the numbers. It was not a thing the way that you know Aaron Gordon today. And so it's like this, it's a mix of he gets to Denver and it's like, dog, camp in the dunker spot. Jokic will figure out where you are. That's all that. Or he won't. Jokic will put up a shot, or he'll kick it to Bruce Brown, or, when he was still there, or Jamal Murray, or name a guy. Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon will just be there to get the rebound and throw and yam down a putback. He's just always around, right? Like, I don't think there was a guy, I think there was a stat like last year, maybe it was their championship run, I don't know. But it was like the disparity between number 1 and number 2 with putback dunks, like where Aaron Gordon was. I mean, he's blowing guys out of the water. That's just where he stands. And that's just like where that's just what he was good at. And now, dog, he's like, he's just hitting threes. You said he's 60% against Oklahoma City this season. I don't know if that includes the regular season or if that was just the playoffs up to this point. 43% in the regular season. He's just like completely reinvented who he is. And I think that in some ways is a testament to the floor raiser that Jokic is in the NBA. And the reason that I say that it's such a rare marriage is because I don't want to say that Aaron Gordon is Jokic's sidekick. That would be Jamal Murray. But as like at best, 2B, and at worst, a 3, being a third option to Jokic. Like, these types of players that are so instrumental in a team winning a championship, but if that player wasn't there or playing on any other team, they would just kind of be a guy. It doesn't happen that often. You use Robert Horry as an example. It's a good example, but like I think Aaron Gordon is like a tier above just in terms of the impact that he has. Plus, he at least was like a guy on a different team. Like it was, maybe you would have said that it was Vucevic's team in Orlando. Who cares, right? But so gross to look back on that, think about that. But like, you get what I'm saying here. If Aaron Gordon went anywhere else in the NBA, his role just wouldn't have been the same. Like, what am I trying to say, man? Who's the example that I want to use here? I don't think it's this. I'm going to say it, though. I think about Klay Thompson a little bit. Where, like, if Klay Thompson played out his career on any other team, would we say that he was bad? No, not even close. Would he still be playing in the NBA? I mean, that you have no idea. He maybe blew out his Achilles twice by now playing for the Hornets or something. Like, really shitting on the Hornets in this episode. That just kind of came out. I didn't mean to do that little Freudian slip there. You can't really say that. You don't know. But if he had a healthy career, yeah, he would still be playing, right? But it's just different when you have the number 1 option who's a world eater, which sounds dumb to say, but like, and I'm not saying that Steph gave Klay Thompson a career the way that sneaky I would say that about, Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon is because if Aaron Gordon wasn't in Denver, then I know for a fact he would not be doing this anywhere else. He just wouldn't, because that's the Jokic bump. That's the advantage of playing with a guy who draws so much attention from everybody else that you can kind of just slip through the cracks, and that is what Aaron Gordon does so well. And it's not like, the reason I use the Klay Thompson comparison, right, is just like, I don't know, he's not dribbling. The guy scored 60 points on like 5 dribbles. That's not what he does. He's shooting the ball and he's playing defense. That's what he does. Is that a commodity in the NBA? Yes. Was that a commodity in the NBA 10 years ago when he was drafted? Yes, of course it was. But there's just levels to it. I don't know. I'm treading water here a little bit. I don't know. Aaron Gordon, though, he's been amazing. And there's some magic to the Nuggets winning in this series. I don't know if I want to unpack all of this because I might be here too long, but if I want to talk myself through this, I don't know, a little bit. I really like watching Oklahoma City lose. And I don't feel great about it. I feel kind of bad. And I've spent game 3 was what, like 2 days ago as of this taping. I tried to identify what it is about them is it that I don't find them likable? Is this part of the Kardashian curse where if Skims didn't exist, Shea wouldn't have lost the meat-off against Donovan Mitchell, but he did? Is that part of it? I don't think so. Is it because Shea's Canadian? No, because I don't hate Jamal Murray and he's Canadian. It's not about that. I don't hate RJ Barrett, the Maple Mamba. He's Canadian. I don't have a problem with that. What is it? Is it Dagnall? I don't know. He's boring, but I don't know. It's not Alex Caruso. It's not Jalen Williams. And it's also not Jalen Williams. Is it Chet? I don't think so. Although he didn't really do that much today against the Nuggets. I don't know what it, dog. I don't know what it is. I just when I look at a box score and I see, oh word, Oklahoma City lost today. I do. This is very visual what I'm about to do. So for our audio only listeners, you won't be able to experience this. I do one of these. Yes, little fist. Yes. I don't know why. I don't have a. I spent years being like, just wait on Oklahoma City. Just wait on them. We all said it. We all said the same damn thing about them because we knew it was true. That when Oklahoma City is here, they're going to be here. It's happening right now, and I'm like rejecting it. I'm not into it. I don't know why. I have not been able to. We'll put a pin in this. I'll figure it out at some point. But right now, I just don't really give a shit about it. Minnesota's kind of up there too, and that happened quick. It was, I think, the Dallas series last year was the turning point where I was like, I don't want you to win. I don't want you guys playing in June. I don't want to watch Minnesota play in the finals. It's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah. No. Really fucking ran out of steam there. Holy shit. I guess we're done. Folks, if you're, I guess that's it. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I don't know Spotify. You guys have been doing, I've been having fun reading the Spotify comments. I haven't, Apple Podcasts. What's up? What's up? If you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, nice little comment for the algorithm. Make sure to keep primary control in check. And, man, it's happening again. I feel so dumb that I spent 45 minutes talking about one thing that is the shelf life of it is less than 24 hours. And now, yeah. Although we did basically do hoops for the full episode. There's my silver lining. I wonder what it feels like to exist outside of your own head. For a day. For an hour. I would take an hour. It's Surveillance Week here at the Coping Hour, folks. And I will catch you guys in the next one.